Well, hello everybody. It's Juva Threat Alexander. So a couple of weeks ago, I had the awesome privilege of being on this show here in Charlotte called Beauties and Bikers of Charlotte with Doc Honeycutt. And it actually aired tonight. It aired on Spectrum Television, Channel 21. That's Beauties and Bikers of Charlotte. But anyway, I made it in time to just kind of record just a little bit of it. And so, anyway, I'm going to share it with you guys. And anyway, check it out. You know what? Today was my purpose day. That is what I have called it. And but interesting enough, I realized that a lot of companies in the month of January, they have allowed their employees to take Mondays off. And so it is Mental Health Monday. Yes. And I was like, that's my purpose. That's my purpose day. So today is one of my my purpose days. And I was like, how cool. It's on Mental Health Monday. So, yeah. So, and that's exactly what it is for me. And so I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go out and see the girls night. So yeah, this is my purpose day.
Yeah, so you know it's supposed to be cute. Oh, okay. I was right to look at you. And my hair has already took us off of our focus for a minute, but it's okay. We want people to come by and see us. When we're on this topic, when we're on this topic, just sign me up anywhere because I'm big into mental health. Because like you said, we need to talk about it. And it needs to be talked about where it's not an embarrassment. Like, it just needs to be a conversation like COVID was. Everybody going around, breaking the HIPAA laws, telling people that they got COVID, and asking, have you been vaccinated and all that. We need to talk about mental health the same way. Okay.
Totally agree.
Yes.
That's true.
So tell us what part you play in this mental health
Like
world.
I said, today I'm taking a purpose break. Everything I do is all about purpose. I don't know, some of you guys may know, but I have a podcast. It's called The Purpose Conversation. And I've just been, purpose came to me on purpose during the time that I really needed it the most. Every now and then we have these different things in life that just kind of throws us off track. And I found myself in a spot where I was just kind of stuck in life. And so when I discovered the whole thing about purpose, one of the things that I decided to do outside of everything that I do was to take care of me. And one of the ways that I definitely take care of me, how we all have to find our thing. Some of us, we relax and we just kind of shut everything out and, things like that. But with me, I write. I journal. I've been writing since, my mother says I've been reading since I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I think I've been writing probably just as long. And so one of the things that I do during my purpose days is write. And so I've been doing a whole lot of writing today.
Is it what you're feeling, or is it a short story, or?
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, I do write about my feelings. I start that every morning. I call it my brain dump, where I sit there and I just write. Whatever it is that I'm thinking of, most of the time it's about gratitude because, I have to just kind of center myself and just kind of realign a little bit. But, I'll start off with gratitude, and then whatever is on this brain, I dump it out. I dump it out into that journal. But in addition to that, I'm also in the middle of writing my 3rd book. So, so I'll take a break from, just kind of journaling and go ahead and finish producing that book because people are going to be waiting for it here in the next month or so.
That is so awesome. So what kind of books have you write? What kind of books do you write about?
Well, the very first book I wrote was in 2017, and that was the kickoff for my whole entire purpose. And it's a memoir. It's entitled From the Pole to the Pulpit.
Wait, you said the pole? Yes, honey.
But
I would never judge you, honey. Never.
Thank you.
And when I tell you, I'm the non-judgingest woman you've ever met. And honestly, and I'm not going to say this because I think it is of you or anything, but I think people who open up about who they really are and who they truly are awesome people. Like some women are like, you know what? I'm a hoe. I respect women who say that. Because you're honest. You kept it real and you know who you are and you're true too. And then those are your ways and you're true too. And then there are people who are like, I'm a very Christian woman. And that's what they truly show. And they exhibit every day. So I appreciate that. That is awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited about her book. Like, I want to read all her books. Little Poll. I can't remember what it was too. But I just think that's an amazing way to learn about somebody and even to connect with somebody. Because, I mean, we all have our issues. We all have our problems. And it's good to have someone that's like, here is my issue. This is where I came from. And this is where I'm going.
Don't make people think that you have not done anything ever in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have done stuff. Everybody. You know, some of us just have not got caught. We have done things, you know. And own them. You know, own it.
Right. Take somebody.
And you know what? I always equate this to, you know, just the title itself from the poll. And in the book, I kind of dive into that, you know, we all have a poll. You know, my poll may have been a literal poll, but, you know, I had other polls too. I dealt with severe depression, and I even talk about it in the book, you know. And also, your poll might be a dead-end job. You know, your poll might be a relationship that's one-sided, isn't going anywhere. Your poll could be addiction, anything that keeps us stuck. So, you know, so that's what I kind of wrote about, and I dug into it. And, but, and it, like I said, it kicked off my whole purpose thing, because in the midst of writing that was like therapy itself. Like, you know, revisiting, you know, what it is that I experienced. But the long goal was to make sure that I spoke to people right where they are. How are you stuck? How can we get you unstuck? And to instill inside of you and encourage you and let you know that, hey, we are all created on purpose for a purpose. And so, and you know, I often say I want you to seek, discover, and to pursue your purpose like never before, because, you know, it's so, you know, it's so good. It's so much more than we can just kind of, you know, imagine.
Some people don't know how to, like, get to that point, though. You know, some people don't know where to start.
Right.
Trying to find their purpose and, you know, learning how to follow their destiny. It's just, they get stuck.
They get stuck.
Oh,
But you know what? It's just like, you know how we say we have to talk about mental health. We have to talk about these things. You have to talk about it. You have to start a conversation, which is why I have the purpose conversation, you know, where I just kind of talk to people. You know, we're having a purpose conversation right now. I will have the purpose conversation in the grocery store, you know, different workshops and things like that. And so what I did do this past year, I wrote my second book. It's actually a journal. It was near and dear to my heart. It's called the Purpose Conversation Journal for Girls. So it's for teens and tweens, because I think it's right at that age where you're most impressionable and you're facing all sorts of things. You know, we have young people that are, you know, I mean, granted, you think about when we were young, if we had the internet, oh my gosh, you know, they have peer pressure on a total different level. Always comparison. Comparison is out the yin yang, you know, but to let a young woman, a little girl know that, hey, you know, there's something great inside of you. Let's discover what that thing is now. Have her to realize that she's beautiful, she's smart, she's capable, and that she's, you know, she's designed perfectly, and she's here, you know, for a reason, for a purpose. And so that's what I did for the girls. And like I said, I'm in the midst of writing now. So I'm gonna have another release here in a few weeks.
That is so hard. We were talking about that earlier, about how impressionable that age group is.
It is.
And especially the time that we're in, COVID, people are at home all the time, on their phones all the time. Like,
Absolutely.
that's definitely needed, for sure.
So this is an age period when we are trying to identify who we are as individuals. We're trying to determine the road in life that we want to
We
try.
want to be.
Yeah, who we want to be. And if we don't have that positive reinforcement from the earlier years to be independent, to be an individual, you know, one of the things I should tell my boys, especially when they were coming up, is that if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never change. Which means that if you're the sled dog and if you're not that lead dog, you're looking at somebody else.
All the time.
You're following somebody. So I encourage them to blaze their own path. Don't be like everybody. Be different. Be who you are. Yeah, it's
Do you
okay.
have a certain age group that you deal with?
I deal with adults, children. There's a lot of bureaucracy tied in dealing with working with children, so I've kind of steered clear of that. As far as our mental health services and systems that we have in place, like I said the last time, unless you have some great insurance, the system that you're going to be plugged into is designed for you to fail. It's not designed for you to succeed or get out of that system. You know, and so with children, there's a whole lot of laws and protections that dictates what can and what can't be done. And the little experience that I've had with adolescents and youth, I've totally disagreed with those policies. So I just kind of figured if I want to stay employed and out of jail, I need to
Go 18 and up.
yeah, I can have a little more leeway. But yeah, so the systems are not designed. They're not designed to be successful. You know, they want, you know, because when you look at the economics of it, you Medicaid spend all this money to the mental health clinics and to the doctors and to the pharmacies, and so why would you put a kink in that wheel? That wheel is greasing a lot of people. Yep. You know, because I know one of the things that like you were talking, you know, my pole was addiction. When I first went in for my very first assessment, they could have diagnosed me with schizophrenia, with depression. But I'm telling people, I've been smoking crack for the last 6 months, and crack causes you to become paranoid. You know, and even when I first started working in this field, I would never encourage anybody to be put on medication for a minimum of 6 months, because the American Medical Association says that constant abuse of alcohol and drugs alters the brain chemistry, and it takes 6 to 9 months for it to level back out. So why would you put somebody on medication prior to that? You know, let it level back out to see, you know, what the results are going to be, and then, like I said, maintenance from there. You know, but I thank God that they didn't put me on medication, because I would probably be still on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Because if you're off of the drug, your body is trying to neutralize it, and then we add another drug to it, so you'll never stabilize.
And I remember telling the psychiatrist that he was saying that I was depressed. I told him, yeah, I just
told you.
my whole paycheck, you know, stole from my mom,
You don't think
abandoned my children. You know, I've created enough chaos in my life that I should be depressed. And if I'm not depressed, then I need some medication. Because if I'm looking at what I've been through, you know, through a semi-clear lens, and if I don't have some residual effect from that personally, and some regret and some remorse, then I got some problems.
See, everything goes back to the
It does.
Oh my God.
You know, and I will say though that I have worked with individuals who had substance abuse issues that needed medication, because you know when you think about it, a lot of times those people are self-medicated with the drug and alcohol. That's what they're doing. You know.
So I got a question. Do you think weed is a self-medicate? No, I'm being honest. Because honestly, to me, I don't think it's a self-medicate. I think it helps you. To me, it helps me get along with life because I don't have to hurt nobody. That's what it is for me.
Well, that's relaxing you. That's
I tell you what somebody told me. If you have to ask a question or something, I mean, personally. And that, do I think it is? I think that people who are casual users, you know, they don't have a problem.
Oh, okay.
But I is just personal for me. If I have to ingest something to make it easier for me to deal with something, then that's something that I have to do. Because I use drugs. If it was sunny out, I got high. If it was raining out, I got high. If it was snowing, I got high.
What's that song?
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
You almost got
I think all those questions are individual. You know, only the individual can answer the question. I don't think that me or anybody else can answer that question for somebody.
Appreciate him answering my questions about about my flowers, That's pretty good to know. Even though I do just do it just because the sky green, purple, blue, whatever color that is at that moment. That's the only reason why.
I've said it many times, like, I will not get on my motorcycle if I got something going on mentally. I'll leave it in the garage because I need to be focused, and I don't feel like if I got something else on my mind, I can't focus on what I need to focus on, the people, you know what I'm saying, around us that don't see us and all that stuff. So I just kind of like take my vibe and go to bed like I did last night. Just go to bed if I'm overwhelmed, just try to step out, and think about it like you do when you start biting lip. Like, what can I do? What's going on?
And to me, that's the most important thing, that I have to identify what it is. What's going on? Why am I feeling tense and upset? And now I'm the total opposite. If I start clenching and biting my lip, just tell me, go take a ride. And if I get on my bike...
Sometimes riding, it's not if you've got something on your mind, and that the riding actually gets your mind away from it. For me, it's not like I'm riding thinking, oh my God, I'm going to catch you. No, it's actually, it actually gets my mind away from it, where I can relax, take some breaths, another way of breathing, and like focus on other things other than what's going on in my head.
Yep, and then when you get out into the open air,
Yeah.
that's when I start to try to process whatever it is, and 99% of the time, whatever got me all stressed out and tense and upset, ain't hit no crap no way. I'm like, really, I gotta piss off about that.
It's major, right? And just think if you had acted on that emotion, that's what we was talking about. Acting on the emotion, you would handle it in a totally different light. But you took that time, you went out, you rode your motorcycle, you were shifting them gears, you smelled that wind, and you stopped and you thought about it like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, but like you were saying, I remember early on in sobriety, I kept a journal. And every 6 months, I would go back and read some of the entries I put in. And it used to always amaze me that January the 5th, 1997, I was in an uproar, about to lose my mind, going crazy. And the reason was nothing. And it also served the purpose to help me to see where I was growing.
Yes.
Emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because, and I could be reading through old posts in my journal, old entries in my journal, and be dealing with something so much bigger right now to realize, but I thought this was this big back then. So in a couple of weeks, this thing that's so big, it's really not going to be that big because I work through it.
I get that all the time. I'll go back and I'll go through some old journals. I'm like, girl, you overcame that, or you thought that was a big deal. Especially when I go through and I read some of the brain dumps, I'm like, oh my gosh, really? But yeah, you can see the growth. You can see how you process the things differently, and how you would react and respond now versus the way you may have a year ago, 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago.
And a lot of times, shortly after reading the whole entry, I find myself encountering a similar situation. Again, be like, okay, well, last time I did this, so I'll try that again.
Circulate. You haven't learned your lesson. You gotta go back around.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can we go take a field trip?
We're gonna go look at some bikes.
Go look at this new truck out there.
We're gonna look at some bikes for real.
Yes, for real. For real, yes.
Yeah, we're looking at the river.
Are we gonna like
that river?
take us there. Like,
You want to take?
I want you to take us there. Like,
In love with my future.
I want you to
lesbian
inch us
lover.
over there. So when you get there, you'll be like, this is our office. After our office, we love the environment. questions because a lot of people don't know about bikes and, you know, the levels of being a biker and all that stuff. So we always give them a nice field trip through the Beautiez Bikerz Hive.
Like, look at that.
That's beautiful. I am the same.
My bike, the bike that I'm building, it's gonna look like this.
Oh,
All the way.
Why you say that?
yeah.
You down?
No. Just after it gets painted, I hope, because it's not going to look like that when we first put it.
Can you paint? Who can paint?
I mean, we can get
Well, I'm learning to paint.
I'm going to take a mental note.
It'd be spray paint. Or,
I was about to say, we can take a picture. I can use some graffiti and do some work.
Oh my God.
painting is actually really good therapy.
Yes.
It is, yeah. I got my own coloring book that I just
And that's
because.
another way to get that rest in your head, to focus on something else. Because we did a painting with a twist in Greenville.
That's
We
fun.
looking for last? Bella Blue and I.
You know that you can just go to the art store and get the little things and the canvas.
Right.
We had planned on doing that as a thing to do at home. Just go in the backyard with some paint and just, you know, do it with your hands. So you don't have to have brushes. So you can make your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just thought that was just like really, really cool.
Well, I decided to publish my own coloring book because you remember it took me back to being a child. All we had to worry about when we were coloring was what?
Staying on the
Staying in the lines.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so this kind of takes you away as an adult. Color, it'll kind of take you away from being an adult. You know, you think about just staying in the lines and you're going to think about just, you know, being a child and coloring.
Yeah, you're being a child.
Yeah, but you know, when people find out I got the coloring book, you know, they already take it to the left. I'm like, no, it's children friendly too. No, I know what I'm doing. That's right.
You got coloring pictures like that?
What would you guys suggest for like brand new newbie water riders? I don't ride, but I love
Oh my God,
bikes.
take the class.
Yes, take the class.
Take the class.
Take the class to find out whether that's something that you actually want to do first. That's what, and you know, it's gonna let you know because that whole weekend you're gonna be riding, so you know if this is for you or not.
And they supply the bike. So
Yeah.
You just gotta have your own helmet and your gloves.
okay.
And then find out what type you want to ride.
Yeah, same boat, but I'm.
I just want something really cute and pink.
Yes.
See, it could be a sports bike, it could be a cruiser, you know? It could be anything. You might even want something to sit in like a spider or something, you know? A slingshot.
Definitely exciting to be in the bike shop and be exposed to so many types of bikes. I really didn't know they had so many, and I didn't know that they did so many things. Like, we had Bikerz up there talking to us about a bike and all the features it has and how it has GPS and all these things. I'm like, I did not know.
This red is popping. This is like
Popping.
popping. It's popping. It's like calling my name.
What is it saying?
Oh, geez.
So this is definitely the
It's got all the sound to it.
Yes.
It's gonna be pouring out what it's saying.
Red air filter. Everyone knows I love my red air filters. That's so little hot.
It's hot.
But this red, oh my gosh. Like, now this is a sexy bike.
Yes.
That's why it's the lesbian lover. So I have my side piece, my main piece, my lesbian
You're
lover.
gonna add to the collection.
Yeah. Maybe I'll trade this. Oh, not the Indians.
You can really travel on the 100 states with this, right?
I'll be hitting some states with this.
So this got the tank that you need.
Yeah, I need a big tank.
6.5 gallons.
6.5, because mine's only 5 gallons. I need 6. I'm riding with the big tank, so I can't be like, oh, I gotta pull over. I gotta put some gas in my 150, 160, I kind of think.
Oh, good. I like that.
Depends on
That's
riding.
really nice as well.
Oh, wow, nice. Oh, I like this one. Yes, that is like really, really. I've seen that bike somewhere before.
That's where I had to. And then I'm just like, I swear, I'm like,
I
Well, I think that's why they've done it like that.
Yeah, vintage filters. Yeah.
What it's got to do, well, that's a
They've got red air filters on nearly all these bikes.
Now,
See,
that's
they got different meanings.
that's an old one.
Oh, is it? What's the number? Can you tell us what the number
It's
is?
over the heads of maybe.
Oh. We got somebody that knows the parts.
Oh, be careful.
Yeah. Can you tell us something?
No, that's it. That's the extended amount of I'm not.
You know what that is.
That's the what's that?
That's an air
I don't know what that is. That's something red.
You do know. How did he know that same red thing you could have picked over here? How did he call it
The air filter, though.
I know, honeybee. Don't be holding back. You know all this stuff. She sure does. She be at home working on bikes. She not gonna help us put our bike together. Ain't that right?
We're back together.
Yeah, we is making our own bike.
I put advertising. You know,
Like, we all gotta do this together.
That would be great. You want to come help us put it back together too?
Yeah.
what kind of bike you put together?
Well, I know. Figure out that part. We just get different parts.
Saddlebag.
Yeah, I'm gonna show myself. We don't know yet.
How many questions
That's
you have?
pretty cool.
Yes.
They could just take a mishmash of parts and put together.
Yeah.
One off. That's how Von Dutch got started.
But see, we gotta get them on the vision. They don't believe. See, you just said it, that it's possible.
Yes.
See?
You know, Von Dutch got started like that. Just building bikes and strap
All
on.
together.
Don't call me saying, oh, she wants me to put this part together. She wants to put me to
He said, girls only. I put the advertisement in. I'll be the last one come through.
You can test drive it. We didn't. Oh, yeah, we didn't test drive. You can test drive and drive it down the street for us.
No.
Yeah, I told her.
You just pow. Sorry.
But that's a good vision, though.
Don't encourage her.
But,
Great. Now you have support.
that would be great. That would be great. This is a new bike.
Like, I don't put bodies together, now it's time to put a body together.
I'm going to be amazed when I see this bike. I'm definitely going to be blown away. My mind is like, I'll just leave it to the professionals. But if she, hey, Dot has done some things in the past and currently that I'm surprised with, so hey, there's no stopping that woman.